My name is Donald Talbot. Our regime was voted into office 9 years ago, and the first order of business was to deal with the epidemic of crime that was plaguing this nation. The answer was the Purge.
Millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast.
Purge. Interesting term. You may have a chance to purge soon.
Billionaire George Soros' fund manages about $30 billion for Soros and his family, but the progressive-leaning Soros took nearly $1 billion in losses recently, thanks to the stock market rally spurred by Donald Trump's surprise presidential election. Soros.
Thomas, we have our people out there countering all this anti-NFFA bullshit. What else can we do?
We do whatever it takes! They want the impossible. Everyone to have. Some cannot have. Not enough to go around.
It's time to do something about all these cocksuckers
Trying to dismantle everything we've built. We are going to use this year's purge to do some spring cleaning, gentlemen.
President Trump is a con man and the ultimate narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him.
Stop the lies, stop the hoaxes, stop the smears, stop the lawfare or the fake lawsuits against me, and stop claiming your opponents will turn America into a dictatorship. Give me a break. Because the fact is that I'm not a threat to democracy, they are.
President Trump is still winning the fight for the soul of the Republican Party.
I know your pain, I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace.
In a new survey, more than half of Republicans blame left-wing activists for the attack. Only 30% hold white supremacist groups responsible, and just 15% of Republicans put a lot of blame on Donald Trump. On Saturday, just a few hundred gathered at a rally in Capitol Hill in support of those charged in the insurrection. Ahead of the rally, Trump praised the perpetrators of the attack, saying, "Our hearts and minds are with the people being persecuted so unfairly." Meanwhile, Trump is trying to purge the party of any Republican who crosses him.
In America, if you lose, you accept the results. You follow the Constitution. You try again. You don't call facts fake and then try to bring down the American experiment just because you're unhappy. That's not statesmanship. That's not statesmanship. That's selfishness. That's not democracy. It's a denial of the right to vote. He talks about the blood of America as being poisoned, echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. You can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. You know, Trump and his MAGA supporters not only embrace political violence, but they laugh about it. At his rally, he jokes about an intruder, whipped up by the big Trump lie, taking a hammer to Paul Pelosi's skull, and echoing the very same words used on January 6th, "Where's Nancy?" And he thinks that's funny. He laughed about it. What a sick...
Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud on 34 counts.
And they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war.
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. Israel has a right to defend itself, and how it does so matters. Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization. On October 7, Hamas triggered this war when it massacred 1,200 innocent people, including 44 Americans. Hamas has committed horrific acts of sexual violence and took 250 hostages.
İsrail yönetimi temel insan haklarını içe sayarak bir millete, bir halka karşı etnik temizlik, apaçık bir soykırım uygulamakta, topraklarını adım adım işgal etmektedir. Bundan 70 sene önce nasıl Hitler insanlığın ittifakıyla durdurulmuşsa, Netanyahu ve cinayet şebekesi de insanlığın ittifakıyla durdurulmalıdır.
She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
Their president, Tiger Lily Harrington, says their mission today is to let former President Donald Trump know that he is not welcome in Savannah.
We just don't think that Trump represents us. We don't want someone who doesn't support women's reproductive rights, who doesn't believe in climate change, who doesn't believe in fair elections. He is a threat to our democracy, and so he just does not stand for anything that we stand for.
FBI says it has gained access to the phone of Thomas Matthew Crooks, the suspect in the shooting of Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania campaign rally. The statement came Monday as the Bureau continues to investigate the 20-year-old's motive for the crime. The former president's right ear was grazed by a bullet, and one supporter was killed before a Secret Service agent shot Crooks dead on Saturday. FBI agents on Monday were seen entering Crooks' home in Bethel Park, south of Pittsburgh.
If you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
There's an unwritten purge rule, Sergeant. Don't save lives.
Donald Trump is safe and is not hurt after what the FBI is calling a second apparent assassination attempt. The shooting happened yesterday just outside the perimeter of his golf course in West Palm Beach.
And right now we're seeing some new evidence after the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump at his golf course in West Palm Beach. The Justice Department says that suspect left behind a letter detailing the plan. Department of Justice released a chilling letter written by Ryan Ruth, the suspect in the second assassination attempt against former President Trump. Barr telling Fox News Digital it, quote, served no purpose other than to risk inciting further violence. The DOJ received this letter from a witness who claimed that it was delivered to them in a box from Ruth months before the assassination attempt. Now, in the letter, Ruth apologizes for not finishing the job and offers $150,000 to anyone willing to, quote, finish the job on Trump.
Why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. Change things. Forever.
Whites are getting fed up. We're a white nation, founded by and for the white man. You're being systematically and deliberately replaced.
Arrest has finally been made in the tragic murder of Maryland mom of 5, Rachel Morin, 10 months after her body was found naked and beaten on a remote hiking trail.
I was beginning to get very concerned that this guy probably went back to Mexico, and that meant that the likelihood we would ever get him would be very low. I'm glad that didn't happen, but the problem here, Ted, is that this guy was deported on 5 separate occasions. That means our border is that wide open.
Yeah. They're doing things in politics that have never been done before in the history of our country, and God has now spared my life. It must have been God. Thank you.